Gracious Heavenly Father, Lord God, we thank you for this beautiful day. Heavenly Father, we have so much to be thankful for. We're thankful for your love, your amazing grace, and your Son who gave his life on Calvary's cross for us. We pray, dear Lord, you be with us now as we go into our meeting. Lead us and guide us, and we'll give you all the praise and glory. These things I pray in Jesus' precious name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will have roll call. Commissioner Fleetwood.
Present.
Commissioner Key.
Present.
Commissioner Montgomery.
Present.
Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Very good, very good. I'll welcome everyone here this evening and let everyone know we appreciate their input tonight. Also want to be cognizant of some of the struggles that we face in our county, and just ask everyone to be diligent and safe in what they do in regards to public health. Want to keep everyone healthy, and our number was right at 73 over the weekend, and that includes Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of COVID cases in Gibson County. So, if you break that down, roughly a little in 20 range each day. So, we just want to keep those numbers getting lower and lower. We want to make sure we're working to keep people safe and healthy, and washing our hands and being cognizant of that. So, moving right along here, we have the approval of the minutes, and I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our previous meeting.
I went through those and I make a motion to approve them.
I'll second.
Motion made second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And on to the claims, starting with the CAW 1. It's $13,630.39. Okra Phase 3 Grand Distributions, $250,000. The LIT Will and Surtax and Ed Plate Distributions, $619,021.78. Payroll deductions, $159,759.67. Payroll, $364,468.17. Attorney bills, $4,698.15. County General, $161,024.81. Highway, $111,965.64. Courts, $864.30. Sheriff, $5,883.50. ACH, $82,277.07. And CAW 2, $15,913.46. I will entertain a motion to approve those claims.
So move.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Good, I'll send that down for the rest of you. Do it now or whenever it's convenient. Thank you, sir. Okay, Commissioner's old business, we have with us this evening, Jared Pitts and I believe Mr. Rick Reed. Jared is via the Zoom or some form of a Zoom, if you will. Jared, are you able to hear us? Are you able to hear us, Jared?
Hi, good evening, Commissioner Fleetwood. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you very well, and I want to welcome you. From what great state are you contacting us from?
Great. No, thank you for having us this evening. And I'm here in the good state of Texas, and wish I could be there in the great state of Indiana with you all this evening, but it wasn't able to get there this evening. But thank you for having us.
Good to have you here this evening, and your counterpart, Rick Reed, is here in attendance as well, representing Tenaska. And I thought I would take this opportunity to just to allow you gentlemen to speak about this Elliott Solar project. So tonight our discussion is primarily about the Elliott Solar project that involves the eastern portion of our county. And I thought I'd just let you guys talk about it and maybe some of the significant points involving this project and also how it's going to impact financially and community-wise Gibson County. Are you able to reach out to us still?
Yes, absolutely. Is Rick in attendance?
Rick is in attendance and he's garnishing a large binder.
Okay. Well, given Rick's there in person, I may let Rick kind of speak to the initial question there, Commissioner, and happy to add to that or address any questions after Rick talks through some of the key facts about our project and the benefits this is going to bring to Gibson County.
It's always a relief or maybe encouragement. I can always look up there, you can see Jared's face or the names of all the company representatives that are there to support me and be behind me and allow me to be the one to be up front, whether it's due to COVID and the vast miles we have to cover. But we've made it here. And yes, as you, President, alluded to here, I've got a very large binder. This is an application, very complex, that you all helped put together for solar. And it took a lot of time and effort, many hours, a lot of people to put this together. And I believe it has came out, I don't believe, I know for a fact it has came out both for the best interest of our county, because just talking with a couple of ladies today, on a few other just questions they've had on other rumors they've heard of solar and other issues, but they thought it was a little made them feel better that it was a local person that was here working with the council and not just a company or a representative or even a company man per se that is paid to be here to speak. Because I did speak from the heart. I had to do a lot of research about Tenaska, and then also now with Revon, who we will be switching gears with the hopeful approval of tonight's application. The finish line of this becomes the starting line for construction. And this will keep us on target to start construction in 2022 and then have this ready to be online in 2023. Just a few of the numbers that were mentioned early on through the whole process, but to reiterate of the dollar amount that this Elliott project alone will be bringing into the East Gibson and the county itself. $170 million invested just into the program for the initial construction and the building of this. 22.6 million in property taxes, and with about half of that remaining and staying towards the East Gibson School Corporation. And we all know, very close and passionate to my heart, that school corporation is. Our county as a whole, but we all have our own little places to live and feel that it's a little closer and passionate that we're about. And so this means a lot to us to see this revenue come in and the tax support for our schools and other programs that we will have. Over $60 million will be just put back in through leases and easements to the landowners. So those are all those dollars that we were comparing when we were looking at abatements and things of that nature, jobs versus money, and how do we look at what we're going to get for what we're giving up or working together on. So that is hard dollars that will be staying right in the county, go right into the pockets of many individuals. There's just so many stories I could share with these the good neighbor agreements that we're working with each of our people that will be living around the project but not having any direct property involved. have us reaching out to them with our program that we have put together for them, helping them financially. Some of them, can barely pay their own property taxes and have some of the areas of the same luxuries that we have. So while it may seem a little to some, it's great for others, medical expenses that are being covered. So our company is really looking at how we're touching lives, but then putting money back into the county in multiple ways. So that's just a brief overview of our Elliott project. You all did a very good job. Many hours working with both the council and commissioners to put this all together, and hopefully, it probably lays the ground for others that may follow. But we're happy to be the one that's before you tonight to ask for application approval. And we do have Chris Matthews, who will be the next face that you'll see more of. I don't know how much more will be before you each time, but working with us with a Revon. And we have spoke with some of our other legal counsel before on some of the other matters, but those are some names that you can see in the future as we, again, like I said, shift gears into construction. And then the operation side too, that was 300 about construction jobs and then 11 full-time jobs that will be there, which the number there seems small, but again, going back to all those millions, going back into the individual landowners. Turn it back over to my boss now, I guess. He's smiling, so I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
He always smiles.
That's all he wants to do.
Like, Jared, do you have anything you'd like to add, or Chris and Kimberly?
Rick, no, I think you did a fantastic job, highlighting the project and some of the key benefits to the county. So thank you for being there this evening and presenting that on our behalf.
We come before you tonight to present our application. I know you all have had it, so we followed all of the steps to make copies of this available for all the parties necessary, or answer any other questions that might need to, but we do seek approval at this time.
Can we go through it page by page?
Sure.
I'd rather have Terry's later.
I'll make it a content.
So I have reviewed, I've had a couple of meetings with, I think Rick was there, Jared, Mary, and perhaps others. And I am giving this my legal blessing. They've got a document that they've submitted. It's entitled, and I don't know if you have a physical copy of this, Rick, but approval of solar energy permits, Elliott Solar LLC. I would recommend that be executed by the commissioners.
I know it's been a long trek and a lot of hard work. I will make the motion to approve the application.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion made in a second. Would all in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
You got it, Rick.
Do you have physical copy with you?
I do not. Jared may or may just sent down for you to have. Sometimes they don't send all the paperwork to me. Not that they don't trust me, but they only got a lot of things. It has been enjoyable to work with each other, and I hope that this won't be the last time that, like I said, we continue and our walks of life. We're going to be here. I'll be here. I'll call home, I guess, with our job that we have. This is home to us, but again, anything that we can do and help. We want to make sure that we are always part of the community as Tenaska and the Revon, but myself as well in reaching.
Very good. Thank you, Rick. And I also want to thank Jared and Mary. We see you now. Mary, thank you.
Hello,
for all your
good evening.
work on the project.
Very welcome.
And we look forward to working with you in our county and, being a shining example of what this project, could possibly offer as a model for other communities. So, that's the way we envision this. We envision it as a model for other communities, and and the right way to bring about responsible energy. And we're fortunate enough in our county, as you know, to have many energy resources. And so, one thing I think this does allows some diversification.
Definitely. If I may interrupt just a moment, Commissioner, Jason has a document, and I don't know if you brought it with you, Jason. If there's any way we could get that signed tonight, great. If not, we can catch up later.
Yes. If we don't get it signed tonight, we'll get it signed momentarily.
Sure. Thank you. Again, really appreciate your hospitality in the community, and we look forward to more good things.
Yeah, and I just build on that. Thank you, commissioners. Gibson County has been an incredible county to do business in. We really appreciate the thoughtfulness that you all put into the solar ordinance in the county, and the thoughtfulness behind working through us on our application. And this is a really key milestone for the project. So we really appreciate your leadership and your approval this evening, and working over the next few months here to begin construction on this project next year. So thank you very much.
Rick, when are you going to start reading that?
Well, yeah, I got a little gun shy after, so I'll throw the thing with confidence. So.
Thank you. All right, moving right along here to our Gibson County Corrections Center Steering Committee. I have some information I want to share in regards to this, but we're making a lot of progress on our Gibson County Detention Center, or Corrections Center, I should say. And we're kind of getting into, I think, several designs that may end up being good fits on our footprint of our existing property. But to be specific here, I wanted to talk about the steering committee and talk about Mr. Dan Lineman. Dan is here in attendance this evening, and Dan has a lot of experience in construction and background in major projects. He's worked with TMMI and maybe even some other entities that I'm not thinking of, but I wanted to bring it before the commissioners tonight. His construction background, his expertise, his awareness of law enforcement, I think he would be a valuable resource in helping us steer this project and meeting timelines. And like I said, Dan, I hate to put you on the spot, but I know you've worked out in Texas and various other places. And
so I'm originally from St. Louis, where I worked for a division of Ford Motor Corporation for 13 years, just as a general foreman. When Toyota was building here in 1997, they have these people that they call headhunters for executives. I was reached out and asked if I was interested in coming down to Indiana, which I'm happy that I did. I love this area. I would never go back. I raised my family here and everything. Anyway, back to my experience. So I was here in 1998 when we built the plant. The plant was up and running. I hired in as a group leader. 1 year later was promoted to assistant manager. 1 year later after that, manager. 2 years after that, I was tapped on the shoulder to go to a new project office. It was a new division of Toyota Motor Corporation, to where we were expanding our plant before the Sienna come on board. So I led that project. Me and 3 other people, we reported to the president of the company for that expansion. And at the same time, we were announced that we were going to build a plant in Texas. Once again, they come and ask if I would go down there and help with that. Working on a new plant here in Indiana, starting the plant in Texas. My role there was working with the design group and the architects within that building to make sure it fit the footprint, manpower, how many heads it was going to take to run it, minimize that head count, automation. I was kind of the middle guy between the contractors, team up, and would interject my opinion on what the vehicle structure looked like. Big headlights, small headlights, can we make it in? And then report that back to the president for approval. So from cradle to grave, what I did there for about 20 years. And I was able to retire from Toyota, and Tim Bottoms let me come on board more for the sheriff's department, and that is my true passion. That's what I love to do.
Well, commissioners, at this time, unless you have any further questions for Dan, I would just ask for a motion to approve to bring him on the steering committee to help us in this project as we near the construction phase and move forward with our timeline.
Well, I'd make that motion. We put him on as, give him the job.
Sounds
We
good.
need him.
He wants to take on one more. Go for it.
Even though he wouldn't get up on that power line, and pull that piece of tin off of it the other day when I asked
You
him
know
to.
what? You asked me that, Brian asked me that, the sheriff asked me that. And the answer was no all the time, so.
Hey, that does prove he has some sense.
Yeah.
Good point.
We have a motion made. Do we have a second? And a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Very good. And moving forward with this project, we definitely have gained a lot of ground with Mr. Sanders helping us along with this project. But we're getting close to this construction phase, and I think he has some concerns about moving and working with Davies County, and we're thinking here we need a local voice too. So, fellow commissioners, we're just trying to go in the right direction and choose someone who we think would really know the jail area and know our county really well and be an advocate for Gibson County. But I want to read to you some criteria that I'd researched and put together for this, but for the owner's representative position. But the success of a project as complex as our Gibson County Corrections Center project needs an official agent to represent the owner's best interest for the project and project matters. The purpose and responsibilities of this role would include the following: understand and align with owner's critical needs and the overall objectives, identify and realize any conflicts between the stated goals of the project, such as scope, budget, schedule, and other related project activities and agendas. Coordinate accurate and important information between the owner, ourselves, if you will, professional services team, the architect, the construction manager, and the agencies, any stakeholders and community officials and leaders. Another point of criteria: establish a communication chain of command. And effective communication will be vital in this project going forward and result in an optimistic project journey for all of us if we carry it out correctly and efficiently. We also want to coordinate and facilitate owner and construction team meetings. So our candidate needs to be someone who can coordinate meetings and facilitate. General services, owner services, cost control services, pre-construction services. I know this is a long list, but these are just some of the criteria that I think we need to evaluate in choosing the right man or woman for the position. Construction management services and post-construction services. We also need someone who can align with the project strategy that factors in any conflicts at the onset, resolves, and makes recommendations for necessary trade-offs, because this project moving forward, it's like building a house 100 times, if you will, that magnitude, if you will, because there are going to be things that like we may even want, but the manufacturer changes. Maybe they don't make that product anymore. We may pick a product and then 3 months down the road, we find out they no longer make it. So we need someone who can be on the inside and working with the sheriff and can, put it all together for us or help us put it together. Person needs to be able to present the state of the project at commissioners' meetings. So it needs to be someone who can speak in public clearly and effectively. We also need someone who can meet with the architect and construction management firm on a routine basis during the day. Many of us, like myself, even we have things we're doing during the daytime. So it needs to be someone who is readily available and willing to accept that responsibility, and making sure the development aligns with the budget, the schedule, and project standards along the way. Also, I believe this candidate needs to stay engaged in the contingency strategies that would be necessary to circumvent or counter project delays. So person needs to be able to see things coming. I know it's easier said than done, but see problems coming or on the horizon, and then work to avoid those in advance. Lead final and formal project closeout activities. So we don't want to put the cart before the horse, but at some point, God willing, we will finish this project and be able to say we have a new facility. And when that time comes, this person needs to be able to close it all out and make sure that all of our law enforcement officials are informed, educated about the facility, the technology in the facility, the cameras, everything that's part of the process or it's going to be involved in the infrastructure of the building. And last but not least, I'm sorry for being windy here, but there's just a lot involved in this project. Facilitate post-construction quarterly audit meetings with the architect, construction manager and owner for at least 1 year to assure owner satisfaction. So there'll be some post-build stuff too, where we have to make sure things are working properly and we get everything that we want or desire in the project. So I come to you tonight, commissioners, I've given this a lot of thought. And my early thinking was who besides our current sheriff, who's very knowledgeable about the facility, but who would know as much about those buildings over there and be familiar with our sheriff's department? Who would know, who would be a good resource for that? And I'll just tell you right now, I would like to see us move forward with this and give this position to George Ballard. George has been a staple of our law enforcement community for many years. And I think he would do us a fine job. I think he would represent this county with pride. Matter of fact, I haven't shared this with anyone, but George has already been doing a lot of legwork and donating his time, not getting reimbursed or anything like that. Yeah, he's been very eager to help me out and answer any questions. I know he wants to see this county succeed and end up with a good project. That's probably all I need to say about it. But if there's any more discussion, and by all means, I would entertain it. If not, I would also entertain a motion to approve Mr. George Ballard as our owner's representative going forward.
I don't have a problem with George in the least bit. I just want to know, is the money lined up to pay him for this job? We were paying somebody before and that was strictly on the council's shoulder. Has anybody approached the council about this?
I have talked to them. They would of course have to approve it, the financial end of it or the monetary end of it. But I'm proposing this evening, with your blessing, fellow commissioners, that we allot the same pay rate that we allotted for Byron going forward, which amounted to $75 an hour when he was working on the project. Byron was very good to not exceed 15,000 during each phase. And so we were fortunate in that regard, but that would be my intention is if going forward with this, we would refer this back to the county council for the approval of the funds. And I believe they would be agreeable.
So I would move to approve George but not force him into it if the council doesn't come through with the money.
Can't make him work.
Because that's a lot of work.
I'll
A
second
lot
that,
of
George.
Yes, and Mr. Ballard, if you have any words or anything you'd like to say?
Well, I appreciate your in the work on this. It's kind of interesting. I know Mr. Wander was here a little earlier with United Consulting Engineers. And back in 88, 89, when the current jail was built, I worked with his dad with their architectural firm quite a bit. I thought it was kind of interesting. He was here a little bit earlier, and I've also worked with Dye Brothers. They were the construction company on the 88, 89 jail. And Mel K was the electrical company that worked on it. I worked with them quite a bit. I've been fortunate to be involved in the sheriff's department since 1972, which seems like a long time ago. But, and I've been with it full time since 75, and I've been fortunate enough that people in Gibson County have been so kind to me to let me serve 20 years as your sheriff. And Tim, our current sheriff, has been kind enough to let me help continue to be involved in the sheriff's office. I publicly appreciate that. that he's been willing to do that. Didn't have to, but he's been good enough and sought to help us stay in touch with what's going on. This guy sitting next to me, Dan Lyman here, I know him quite well, especially for the last, oh my gosh, 15 years. And we're pretty good friends and understand each other quite well. We may not always agree, but we understand the agree to not disagree. We get along quite well. And I know you guys there, the commissioners, and I want to make sure that communication is probably one of the big things I think that needs to be done, and making sure that the sheriff, jail staff, and community corrections, commissioners, council, all the stakeholders, and the community knows what's going on, and keep them abreast of how this project's proceeding. And when it gets done, everybody's glad that it worked out the way it did. I'm sure that it can get it done. So, thank you.
Thank you. So we have a motion made in a second, and then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, and welcome aboard. We look forward to working with you. Moving on to our next item here, resolution for pre-hazard mitigation plan. Terry Hedges.
Lost because this is 2 years. What's that, 6 months? But I do have a file in there with everything we started in October of 19. It's probably about the same. What you have before you tonight is a document resolution. It's the adoption of the Gibson County Hazard Mitigation Plan. This plan initiated in October of 19. We got a 6-month extension on it. It occurs every 5 years. This is the third and final time that I will be doing this plan. Okay, 15 years ago, we started this. It has changed. The mitigation plan itself is a plan for the county and communities in Gibson County. This was provided by a grant. It cost just a little under $20,000 to do this plan. Working with the Polis Center, which is IUPUI, IU Purdue University, and the Polis Center. Every 5 years, it has to be updated. It has to be brought in. And to finalize the last phase of this is a resolution that needs to be adopted by the county. Communities were asked to participate in this back in October of 2019. The duration with COVID and everything, we were still able to provide open meetings for the communities, the cities, the towns to participate in this. They themselves have the opportunity to adopt a resolution of their own. However, they can also adopt a county resolution. The county has to adopt this resolution in order for this mitigation plan to be accepted. And this plan allows the communities, if they did not adopt their own, to participate in hazard mitigation grant funding. An example, when we initiated this, our first candidate was Columbia Township Fire Department. Their fire department was constantly being flooded by floodwaters, rain, and everything. Something that we started off with mitigation. Others, the communities had to do with sewage and water treatment. There's a multitude of information in here that has to do with weather, or issues within the county, and every county has to provide this. What I'm here for is to ask you to adopt and make a resolution adoption of the Gibson County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan. You have a copy of it for you, unless you want me, Jason, you want me to read it?
Yeah, no. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. It is exciting.
Okay.
I know where you.
This, what I will do once this is accepted by the county, I will submit this to the Department of Homeland Security and to the Polis Center. FEMA requires this, the state requires it, the county's not have it. So this is the resolution adoption by such, and the plan itself, this is the draft final draft. Ain't nothing like what he's got over there, but this is the draft. They will place this in here and make a decision. That's what I'm asking. And I explained to you what it is, so if you guys want to do that,
Can I see your copy? Do you have this filled in?
no.
I've got a blank. I've got the 1, 2, 3, 4th from bottom paragraph. Do you have that filled in? Says whereas the,
No, I haven't filled it in yet because we were going to present this before this got it.
okay.
But today, on the year, we're talking about,
No, it says Gibson County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan updates the existing multi-hazard mitigation plan adopted in. So I'm assuming that would be the previous,
yeah, it was 2017.
okay, just filled, was,
It took 2 years to do it. Every 5 years we had it, so it was like 17.
okay. And then Mr. Watkins' resolution number, do you have that?
That would be number 6.
So we need any discussion on resolution 2021-06?
I've been through part of this at least in meetings and that. I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you, Terry. Appointment to Fort Branch Johnson Township Public Library. It's actually a reappointment of Mr. Dave Clark. Should we make that decision? And I understand Mr. Clark takes a lot of pride in the position and would like to stay in that position, help out our library, different libraries throughout the Fort Branch Johnson Township group. Okay, good.
I'll make a motion to approve. We've always gone with what the board has recommended. And I do know they've been, he and his wife both, I think, have been very, very active in different parts of the activities of the library.
Very good. We have a motion made.
Second.
And a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we have approval of Mr. Clark as a reappointment to the Fort Branch Johnson Township Public Library Board of Trustees. Just a few details about Mr. Clark here. He says he can serve 3 more 4-year terms. He will be beginning his 2nd 4-year term as of tonight. Okay. And I believe we've got all the necessary signatures here. Let's see, I need to get a signature here too.
For me?
I think so. It says please date, sign, motion, sign, motion. So she acted like I was going to sign it, just give it back to her. Okay, is that right? Do all
Yeah.
the commissioners need to sign this one? Okay. I'll just send it down the line. There you go.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, I've got to kind of squeeze in there. There are only 2 lines there, so we may have to.
We want to start September the, is it 9th?
September the 9th.
All right, next up, a memorandum of understanding for the unofficial detour on local roads, pavement replacement, State Road 64, Francisco.
I've got Terry and Rick beat me. Read all this. What this is the NDOT has a project. I'm very aware of these. I don't know more. Remember they have projects around closure. They make an official detour, which is state road tour. Currently, this is 1541, 68. But they use state roads to detour trucks. And that's what's on the website. That's what we're telling everybody. What we do is we look at it and talk to residents and say, what do you actually use? What would you do around this? And that road are listed as an unofficial detour. The unofficial detour is looked at prior to the construction and the closure and after. And if there's damage done in that time period that we can talk about with NDOT and prove on the cost, they will reimburse us for those costs. It is a timely process. I've done
several of these. Anywhere from 1 month closures to like this closure here goes through the end of construction season 2022. Now they are talking like there'll be a closure through this construction season and then kind of reopen for winter. I'm not sure how that'll work out yet. I'm hopeful that does happen. The closure goes back in effect in the spring, but see what happens. That's this project on 64th, then you could throw on Con Francisco. I know 5 years, 1.5 years started, it was talked about heavily. It's been the plan in the works for 7 or 8 years now. It'll be very big for Francisco. They're really make Northern Francisco very nice because they're complete reconstruction, widening sidewalks. It'll be a big project for Francisco. So they come to us. I have meetings and we go out and look around, talk, find a route, and that's the route that we list is our reimbursable portion for damage. I'm gonna say that there's one commissioner probably sees the traffic already.
Yes, quite a bit.
On one of these roads. I will say I was very pleased to see NDOT put their detour signs up, not just put signs up, they actually have barricades over here coming out or coming into Princeton. That you actually have to go around the barricades to try to deter truck traffic. Truck traffic is usually what tears it up. I mean, the heavy loads. That's my concern. We knew this was coming for years. 250 South was paved last year it was finished. 2 years ago it was finished.
2 years.
2 years ago it was finished with just a preventive maintenance overlay. It wasn't reconstruction, it wasn't nothing. And the reason we like to do that is because our highway department guys, we don't want them out there having to fix major damage with the amount of construction, the amount of traffic that's out there. We did it on 100 North, with 64 closure. That was down last summer. It's very nice to have a road that basically held up for the majority of the construction. So that way they weren't out there, our guys weren't out there having to work all the time. So this one actually, they have a little map with it. It would be on the south side of Francisco. It would be 550 east, which is on the west side of Francisco, taking it down to 250 south, also known as C-Dick, and back up 750 east, which is right on the east side of the park, Hawkins Park. Those are the roads we looked at going in town, but this one seems like what everybody was going to say would be the ones 550 east, just right of the right access to 64, just from the west side of Francisco, goes down to 250. The green highlighted area, that is Hawkins Park, and then coming back up at State Road 64 again. I can see some traffic going east 850. That road is not as good a shape as the 750 is, so I really don't expect very often to keep using that road. I can read a little bit of this, but basically list the roads, list the project, what's going on, State Road 64 paved replacement. It lists 550 east, County Road 250 south, County Road 750 east. And it says, the Department of Transportation agrees to reimburse Gibson County for costs related to damage repair on the listed official detour. So it has to be approved by NDOT. So what I found out on the State Road 65 closure, which we use old State Road 65 as the official detour, we weren't able to fix everything right away. It took us about 9 months to a year to document everything with the NDOT. We just couldn't touch it. We had to just live with the damages for a little time period. The good thing about that road is it wasn't horrible bad. It wasn't like there were big potholes, it wasn't big problems. But they did give us a check for the reimbursement on those. State Road 64, west of Princeton, we didn't come up with any damage that's substantial enough to turn in. This one I'll have to wait and see because it's such a long, it's more of a 1.5 season type detour, so just a 2-month detour, smaller detour. So, but this is section of county roads to be able to repair them when damage is done. It is a sheet to sign with the commissioners. I've always had them, commissioners, make a motion, second vote, and then sign the actual agreement with NDOT. So, any questions on this from you guys?
So one good thing about it, everybody's gonna find out where the park's at.
Yes, it is.
You know, so,
Have to
and they're
go
gonna
buy
know where I
it.
live.
Yeah, I know where you live, yes.
And we have a substantial amount of traffic going that route already, all right? I mean, they bypass the railroad tracks there. They don't want to get stuck on the tracks, so they'll go, by Hopkins Park.
Oh, yeah. And so far, there hasn't been very much truck traffic. There's been a few, but not
I
many.
think a lot of that has to do with how the barricade does.
Yeah.
For instance, they do the same thing on the east end. I think it really brings this point across that
Yeah.
there's no through traffic. I've never seen them do it before like that. I'm very.
That neither.
How they set it up.
Especially all the way out here.
Yes, yes.
On the west side of Francisco, are there detour signs heading east?
That's just closure signs. So all the detour signs are set up, telling everybody to take the state roads. There won't be detour signs set up for this. This will just be the people that figure it out.
Yeah.
That's the way they'll go.
Yeah, it's unofficial, so they cannot put signs up.
Yeah.
More or less, fingers crossed, local people.
We'll see a lot of that coming in, from people trying to get into Francisco. I know school system, Francisco, I think is right there in this closure.
Right.
So, you'll see them right now.
Right on the road.
One way in and one way out,
Yeah.
that little place.
We're making 550 east, north 64, started today. When I called Dave Higgins at East Gibson School Corporation, he's like, "It's already got a pretty bad closure going on, don't you?" I said, "Yes, sir." I really apologize for being at timing, but we'll be there for 2 days, not a year and a half.
Yeah.
My wife said they're directing traffic every morning.
God bless her. Yeah. Jeez.
That how the bus is gonna be going to the school.
I don't know how to go. I don't know.
Back on the opposite side of that line you got drawn there.
Yeah, they're coming in like 725.
Yeah, that's what they're doing, they're coming in, and that's the thing, is this only for one spot, because I know 725 there, I live on 725, and we've been seeing a lot of traffic coming in off 64, 725, and then 150 south into.
We're allowed, one of the people we're allowed to list.
Okay, so this one here.
And mine's important with Dave.
Not think about it as 100, 100, 125.
Yeah, 725 and 150.
725 should have some issues, but 125 is great also. And I don't see semi trucks trying to make that route. But
you'd be surprised
if
already.
they do, they're gonna be surprised they get back out.
They go down that road all the time because they go out to the mine. So we see them, and then I've also seen them cut through now already. And so I'll tell you, they should be, I'm just saying they're doing it.
Right.
And they go into Division Street, if you guys know where Division
Yeah.
Street is, and take then what basically would be Fourth Street. They get to the Division and Fourth comes very kind of wide together, and they'll take that Fourth Street because it's a good turn, it's easy turn.
That if the sheriff's department gets called out there to go to Francisco, I mean, the road will be open for them to get there, or should they be advised?
There was 64.
Yeah.
I did not, I believe it's a full closure. I believe there's gonna be times the whole road will be gone.
Yeah, they've got barricades all the way across.
I believe it's full closure, the road will be going to exist.
As long as the deputies know when there's a call, right, that they don't go that way.
There was a ambulance lights and sirens come by my house yesterday.
So
Ambulance did?
Yeah, come right by the house. They was headed toward Oakland,
Mhm.
so they've got to take the back roads too.
Well, I don't know if you were in attendance, but a meeting back or so, I'd had some folks call me about, some folks driving a little too fast on that route that you're describing. And so we notified the sheriff and we're working on that. I mean, we're gonna try to keep an eye on it.
No, they've done a very good job on 100 north, because speed limit on it is 30 mile an hour, I believe, on 100 north. And there were several times that the deputies sat out there, and it took events.
Yeah,
I know you can drive down the speed limit and pack up about 100 vehicles behind you, I did that well.
oh boy.
You know what's the purpose on 68? For putting a big official detour sign at each county road intersection, each direction. At every intersection, at every county road, there's 2 signs.
Showing the detour, there's a detour. I've been down there to see, I don't know why.
Was this just today, Larry? Was this just today or this week?
But they just put them up this week.
Oh, okay.
I think they had put up arrows, signs indicating
the detours on farther down the road instead of the county road that are next to it.
Maybe, because they may see the county road, want to turn on it, and it says detour to try to keep them on the state road.
I was thinking, if you're coming off the county road, look the wrong direction, because you gotta turn on the highway before you see the sign. Oh, that makes sense, then.
It's just mainly to keep people on the highway from turning on the side road.
Okay.
Try to make sure they can find those.
That makes sense.
You generally use the 57 and you put it in the snow, they put the sign up on that.
I don't know what they're doing there. Usually if it's a
bridge, yeah, that's what I was told.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Smith Creek and all that, ain't no semi,
I haven't heard anything. And sometimes they kind of hack it, like on 168 west.
It's like Larry's sign, they just popped up.
They're doing work on it. If they're only doing half the time, they got a temporary stoplight out there. They're using half the bridge. So I haven't contacted them.
Total road closed, like,
I haven't heard anything about it yet. They are required by Indiana code to give us this opportunity.
Okay.
So,
Well, I entertain a motion to approve this unofficial detour plan.
I'll make that motion.
He opened his mouth. Now, I want to put a sign in his front yard. Kenny Montgomery.
They saw me mowing yesterday, trust me.
I'll second the motion.
Free lemonade.
Yeah. Free tomatoes, Kenny.
Oh, jeez. Motion made, second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Just want to remind all of our drivers using that route to give themselves extra time to safely reach their destinations. We want to make
Watch out for dogs.
watch out for dogs and children, yeah.
And Kenny on his lawnmower.
Yes.
Kenny on his lawnmower for sure. Mhm.
You mow down that bank, you go right out in the road if you ain't careful.
Next up is an ordinance creating fund for redevelopment authority.
So this, I think I sent the wrong, it's a resolution. I've got it as a resolution. So this would be 2021-07. And the need for this came up when the redevelopment authority recently received money for an easement acquisition by Centerpoint. So we need to create a fund within the auditor's office in the 4050 series that does that, and that's what this resolution accomplishes. So I would ask for a motion to approve resolution 2021-07.
So the State Board of Accounts doesn't get mad, also move.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution authorizing certain actions with respect to the acquisition of certain real property by the county and matters related thereto. Mr. Spindler, I'll turn this one over to you.
So I'm going to remove that from the agenda, but to substitute that agenda item, I'm going to substitute that agenda item with something else. And I'm just asking permission this evening to hire appraisers, specifically two appraisers to appraise up to 3 different properties. So it'd be 6 appraisals total, up to 6 appraisals total.
Yeah.
The money's there. I ran that through the council to make sure.
Also move to hire the 2 appraisers.
Second.
Second, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
And major medical leave.
Everything is in order. It is correct. Just need your signatures.
I'll make a motion to approve the major medical.
Second.
Made second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And do we have anyone from the public in this evening to speak or provide comment? Yes, sir. Come forward.
gave you guys all the end of the month report for July 2021. I just want to go over with you real quick. We had this with the total runs, basically what would be amount 427 runs a month. Total year to date, they billed is $1,957,323.80. Total year to date collected $773,392.41. Percentage that was collected for 49.51%. For new accounts, as of July, what we got in July, we had $322,028.80. We've collected out of that $129,102.64. We've got write-off amounts of $2,403.59, and the insurance adjustments were $61,995.39. So the only thing I had was for the write-off amounts for.
Also move.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 You got anything else?
Nope.
I don't believe so. Thank you. Anyone else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
You'll second it?
I'll second it too.
I'll first and second it too. So Michael,
do it
whichever way you want to do it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Have a good evening, everyone.
And that, so we'll wait till that one gets back. I'll get everybody.